admissions experience and their experience in college currently. And please feel free to bombard the chat with questions. If you're comfortable unmuting to ask questions, please do so. Our peer mentors are here to help you. That's the number one goal of today, is to do what they do best, which is to mentor young teens. So first we have Kate. Kate is a Chicago native and is staying loyal to Chicago here at Northwestern University, where she is majoring in bio. Fun fact about her, she is a counselor during the summer. Say hi, Kate.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate. I'm currently Zooming from my dorm room at Northwestern, so that's my lovely background here.
Thanks, Kate. We also have Nicole, who is attending Vanderbilt University. She's currently living off campus in Nashville. She is an education major with an endorsement in English language learning, and she has traveled to over 9 countries. Her leadership class actually is about how to travel and how to make it work. Say hi, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a senior at Vandy, and like Kate said, I'm currently in Nashville, zooming in.
Thanks. Nellie is a freshman at Wesleyan. She is currently double majoring in government and psychology. Fun fact about her is she has actually been on WGN Chicago News from her graduation ceremony, where she was the valedictorian. Hi, Nellie.
Hi, I'm Nellie. I'm a freshman. I currently attend Wesleyan University, which is located in Middletown, Connecticut. And I have to say, this weather gives Chicago weather a run for its money.
I shoveled for hours the other day. And then we have Nathan, who is attending Indiana University. His major is in supply chain and economic consulting. And fun fact about him, he plays 5 instruments. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm from Chicago, and I'm currently in Chicago because I haven't gone back to school yet, but I'm going back next week. So, hello.
Hello. And finally, we have Trevor, who is attending Harvard University. He is majoring in mechanical engineering. Fun fact about him, he loves to fix stuff, and he just bought a truck.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Trevor. I'm zooming from Florida right now because Harvard campus is closed to freshmen, but it's nice and sunny down here.
Thanks for rubbing that in, Trevor. So these 5 wonderfully impressive young people are here to answer your questions. So please feel free to ask questions in the chat. To get things started, I'm going to go ahead and ask all of you, what was your college admissions process like? How many schools did you apply to?
I actually applied to 5 schools. It actually was pretty easy to apply to all 5 of these schools. You really just have to do the Common App, and the Common App fills in your basic information for every school. So really the only different thing you need to do is the essays. And depending on the school you're applying to, some schools don't even require essays. So it really is not that difficult to apply to 5 schools, or even more if you really want to. So yeah.
I went a little overboard. I applied to 11 schools, but like Nathan was saying, all of them are on the Common App except for one of them that I applied to. So it's pretty easy to still do that.
I applied to 16 schools only because I wanted to have like a good balance of safety schools and what we call reach schools, which is more of like the elite schools. But you, while applying to those, you want to make sure you have like schools that you know you can get into, so you're not screwed if you don't get into the ones you want to.
Yeah, around the same for me. I applied to 9. So just a mix of all around reach, match, and safety schools.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and ask a few more of our questions. And again, anyone on the Zoom tonight, please feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask that way. That's certainly fine too. Otherwise, I'll just keep asking questions. So you mentioned, Nathan, about just writing the essays, that the essay process is different depending on the school. So why don't you all share a little bit of insight as to what goes into a good essay? How do you get the admissions committee to notice you?
I would say something that's really important is being authentic to yourself and writing about something that makes you excited or something that you're very passionate about, not as much what you think the admissions people want to hear, because when you write coming from something you're passionate about, that's going to be your best writing.
I agree. And I think the essays are just a really good opportunity for you to show who you are beyond all the kind of like numerical data that you're filling out elsewhere. You really should like use that opportunity to showcase who you are. And I think often admissions counselors, it is their job to tell when you're writing like to them rather than for yourself. And I think speaking from Vanderbilt's perspective, I applied a while ago, but I do remember that they had one optional supplemental essay about a like hobby or extracurricular. And I filled it out because it's just another chance to show who you are and show that school who you are and why you would be a good fit for their school.
Along the lines of like the supplement essays, I highly recommend that you research each like college to see what other students wrote in the past. Like for example, I know that Stanford, the people who got in, they had like a certain like special peak. So whether that was they were a journalist or whether that was like that they were really good at playing the violin, like their whole essay always kind of like turned back to that, like their application instead of being well-rounded. But every school is different, so if you research, you can find out like what the best thing for you to write about is, so you don't ruin your chances.
Yeah, just like everyone else said, I mean, you want to definitely write to yourself and not really tailor it to the admissions essay and just try and be yourself. And then there are little like specific things. I know Harvard has an art supplementary where you can like submit a video of you dancing or something. I mean, for me, I submitted a picture of something that I've like restored basically. And I think just like little things like that, little special things about certain colleges will really help you and give you the edge over some of the other applicants.
Yeah, kind of going off that, I just wanted to share like I had one supplement and the prompt was something about curiosity, and the first thing that popped into my mind was Curious George, because I always read those books when I was younger, and so I wrote my supplemental essay about Curious George and comparing myself to Curious George. That was just the first thing that I thought of, and it was kind of not a typical essay that you would think of, but I thought that it really showcased my own personality. So it's really what makes you you.
I see we have a question in the chat from Jessica about what kind of extracurricular activities do colleges look for. From a lot of the kids I've talked to last semester at school, a lot of them were in like debate clubs, Model United Nations, a lot of like political, just like more academic clubs, I guess. I feel like a lot of national honor societies and stuff like that are very basic now and almost kind of like assimilate you with everyone else, and you kind of want to get away from those. And definitely being leaders in those clubs is crucial. Like Nelly said, you kind of want to have like a spike or a peak is what they call it, which is like your special like something or other. So being like the president of debate club or the president of Model UN or one of those clubs is very important.
Yeah, I would agree. Leadership positions would definitely strengthen or like a length of time. I think colleges like to see that you've been involved in something for like a lot, maybe all of high school or most of high school at least, because if you list a bunch of stuff senior year, they'll be like, okay, you did this to build your resume. But I also would say like, I don't know, my field is very specific, but I did include extracurriculars like being a camp counselor because it's kind of adjacent to education, which is the field I'm interested in. And I think it is, again, just most important that you're true to yourself. And if you're passionate about the extracurriculars you're doing, that will shine through. And to be less worried about like, really looking great, like just being true to yourself and being involved in things you're interested in, and then being able to talk about those.
Thanks everybody for such great answers. Remember, you can always throw some questions into the chat. When you were deciding to make your, where you were going to go, how big of a role did the location play?
So for me, I'm from Chicago and I go to Northwestern, which is in Evanston. So it's only about a 25-minute drive from my house. But actually, location was not a factor. I applied to a lot of schools on the East Coast because I really liked it over there. But then it ended up being that Northwestern was the best fit for me. And it just happened to be that it's 25 minutes away. For me, I kind of wanted to get away from home. And so I'm not really going home and making Evanston separate from my house. So location wasn't really that big of a factor for me. It just happens to be that I'm really nearby.
Yeah, I was never like, I really want to go to Bloomington, Indiana. But I really just went because of the prestige of Indiana University. And I went because I wanted to get away from home, but I also want to be close enough to home that I could visit whenever I wanted. So that really just works out in my favor. So yeah, that's really all I have to add.
Personally, location was really important to me. I really wanted to be somewhere that was warm. And I actually based off a lot of I applied to a lot of schools in California. I was also able to decide that I wanted a private school, and I was fortunate enough that that was accessible to me. So warmth was a thing, but I also wanted to be in a city. So that is kind of also why I chose Nashville. And in hindsight, as a senior, something that it has become really important is the ability to drive, to move in and out. And just in general, Nashville's an 8-hour drive from Chicago, but it's possible. And that is so much more convenient than moving another way. So that's just something in practice that I've realized is actually important.
I think the distance is definitely something to consider. I'm about 1,900 miles from my house. And I did drive up there for the first semester because my family wanted to. But like Nicole said, it's definitely a big hassle moving a bunch of stuff up there. I would definitely read the college move-in blogs and all that stuff, and only really bring what you need. But yeah, I think that if you like the warmth, I think sticking to that and staying in the South or California is definitely important. And if you're okay with the cold, I think that expanding into some of those colder colleges could be fun too.
Yeah, I didn't really look at the location. I kind of just applied to schools I thought were interesting. But now looking at it, I kind of wish I would have looked more at it because certain areas don't have great transportation. So if you want to get around, in Connecticut, it's very hard to get around. So I recommend that if you apply to the school, you look at the location, see if the transportation is great, see if it's within driving distance, because a 13-hour drive, I thought I could do it until I took a 4-hour drive to Michigan and realized I would not be able to. So definitely consider things like that.
There's a question in the chat from Jessica C. Did any of you go to college not knowing anyone at all? And how did you deal with that?
I guess yes is my answer. And this semester was definitely tough because of COVID, and it definitely helps that I had roommates though. A lot of the kids that I met didn't have any roommates, and I'm not that type of person, but definitely having my 2 roommates was very important. And then trying to get outside as much as I could and meet people in the common areas of Harvard was fun. But just try and put yourself out there. You don't know anyone, so no one's gonna know about weird stuff from high school. So you just gotta talk to people.
Yeah, I
agree.
found that. Okay. I was gonna say, I found when I got here, so I actually just moved in January because we were not on campus in the fall, and everyone was so willing to meet each other. I knew only a handful of people going in, and I had talked to my roommate on Instagram. But everyone was so willing to meet each other and go on walks outside with our masks on and everything. And so it wasn't a problem that I didn't know anyone.
Yeah, I will piggyback on what both of Kate and Trevor have said. I was a freshman years ago, so pre-COVID, but I only had a couple people from my high school, and I had a single going into freshman year, and I was really worried about it because I didn't have a roommate like your automatic buddy. But I ended up becoming really close friends with my hall freshman year, and I had a small hall, and that depends, but really where you live is a great resource, COVID or not. And I don't know, I'm sure that there are similar programs at other schools, but Vanderbilt does something called Visions, which is a first semester only class that you'll have with a group of other freshmen and a VU-ceptor, like a mentor person, and you'll have that class every week. So that was also a really good way to meet people. And we had a Facebook group and a group me, and I do agree with what both Kate and Trevor said, that if you just put yourself out there, especially in a pandemic, people will want to meet you because they're also freshmen in college and they're also scared and don't know anybody and want friends. So
Yeah, I was also, oh, sorry.
It's okay, Nathan, you can go ahead first.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was also in a single, and during COVID, it's really hard to meet new freshmen. But the way I did it was through like Facebook. I met people. You actually meet people through your classes also. If you do a lot of group work, which really helps to find people like in your major, people that can actually relate to you. And I also met people through extracurriculars like marching band. That really helped because that was in person. So I did meet a lot of people that way. So yeah, just make sure to join clubs, extracurriculars, and you should meet people.
Entering Wesleyan, I didn't really know a lot of freshmen. I knew people like who graduated, but my RA, well, after we like did our quarantine, my RA, she held certain like I guess we call like events for just our hall so we can get to know everyone. So I became really good friends with everyone in my hall, which I think is normal because you're gonna run into them in the bathroom. But because most of the classes were online, like you have to be more innovative and you kind of have to like email certain people. Like if you like see someone in your class, in your English class, and you think like, wow, they're cool, like I would be friends with them, but because you're not in a class setting, you really can't talk to them. Honestly, email them. I did that and it actually worked out pretty great. Like I went grabbed dinner with this girl, like we're still friends, and you just have to like kind of take a risk. But yeah.
Great. I have a question for all of you. My mind just went a little blank. What do you think was the best bridge from high school life to college life? Like, what was it in high school that really prepared you for college? Because a lot of the people on the call tonight are entering high school this year, next year, something like that. So what is the high school experience that really helped you navigate your college experience?
I guess for me, like the teachers and taking like a few like harder AP classes, a lot of my AP teachers really like strived to like teach more of a college like class and assign homework like only like 2 of the days I had the class because we had like a different schedule basically, and I had my classes every day. So they tried to assign homework on the days like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then gave us time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to do it, which is basically exactly what I do now. So that was helpful. And then I know we're wrapping up here, so if anyone else has questions for me, I'll be sticking around. But if you guys have to leave, I'm available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. I'd say the best thing that I learned from high school would definitely be the work ethic. The work ethic really helps, especially when you have to do a lot of your work independently. Yeah, just keeping a schedule and just staying on top of your work is definitely the most beneficial thing that you could possibly bring into college. And if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk about this some more or talk about IU, band, whatever, I'm available Tuesdays for mentoring.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry to cut you off, Nathan. But I think I had block scheduling in high school, which was helpful, having classes every other day, which is not like completely necessary, but that is how college is. You won't have your classes every day, and you have a lot more free time because you are not in school all day. So time management is huge. I was in a sport, and so that really helped. So I would say like work ethic / time management, just being able to govern your social time as well as getting your work done. And then if anyone wants to talk about Vandy or traveling or anything, I'm available on Wednesdays this month.
kind of echoing off what other people have said, I think knowing how you study is really important. The leadership class that I teach is on effective note taking, and the biggest thing that I emphasize is it's how you best take your notes, how you best retain the information. And during high school, I had a lot of trial and error, finding what works, and I do different things for different classes, and that's really helped me be able to stay on top of my work in college. And so if you want to hear the leadership class, I will be giving it. The dates are on the website, and then I'm also available for mentoring almost every Tuesday and Wednesday and most Thursdays.